Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to show you the #1 reason that I believe you're having trouble with getting good topspin on your ground stroke. When we talk about topspin, I like to talk about RPMs and how to get that ball spinning faster on both forehands and backhands. But before we get into that, we want to cover the main thing that you need to have before we get into any of this technique, and that's the proper grip. The key to a proper topspin forehand especially is having that trigger finger up like this. If you're holding the racket like a hammer, like this, the racket will never drop below the ball and you're not going to be able to hit with topspin. You'll get back, you'll hit through it hard, but you're not going to be able to drop under it. You're going to want to hold the racket in your non-dominant hand horizontally like this, and then just shake hands so that finger goes up like that. That's the trigger finger, and that will allow the racket to drop. Now I want to get into my forehand grip. So that's step one. Hopefully you already are doing that, but that's key. So what is going to allow us to get more topspin? And this is something that I've been struggling with and kind of figured out in the last few months. I was having a lot of trouble with my forehand over the last year, and I realized that the thing that was getting in the way was just being tight. And we all get tight in matches. We get tight if things aren't working right. But when you are tight, you lose topspin because the racket does not drop under the ball. So I'm just going to show you exactly what it looks like and why you have to be loose. The way to stay loose is your grip pressure, and it needs to be very, very low on ground strokes. If I'm hitting a volley and the ball is coming hard, it's okay for me to be a little bit tighter and firmer because I don't need this racket head to be moving around. It needs to stay stable. But for the ground strokes, the racket head needs to drop under the ball. And if you're tight, if I get in here and I squeeze the racket tight like this, the racket cannot drop under the ball. It's almost impossible. As soon as I relax my grip, the racket falls. And that's because of this grip here, but also that loose grip allows the racket to drop under the ball, and now I can brush up from low to high. Exact same thing on the backhand. When I go to hit my backhand, if I tense up here and get tight, I can feel it in my arms. My racket head will only get to about here. It's not going to drop under the ball. If you watch Djokovic, to me, he has the best two-hander. When he steps in, I know he's loose because the racket drops way under the ball like this. You can see his right wrist bowed. The tip of the racket almost looks as though it's going to touch the ground, and then he brushes up from there. But if you're in a match, if you're in a tight situation and you tighten up, there's no doubt your racket's going to stay up like this and not get under it. And that's when the ball starts flying because there's not enough topspin on the ball. So besides that, besides the fact that you need to get the racket under the ball, there's a secondary thing that happens when you loosen up, and that's that your swing becomes a lot more fluid. If I tighten up, a lot of swings that I was doing were starting to look like this. And I was going up like that, just really tight, kind of doing that reverse swing, but not getting much through the ball. Whereas now that I'm feeling loose here, I'm kind of holding it with my left hand also. That helps me get loose here. But as I come around, if I'm loose, that racket just whips through. And I kind of get away from that swing where I'm going up and over here and, above my head, where everything just stops. Same thing on the backhand. When I'm loose, that racket will come through. My body might come through even. But tight, everything stops and the arms just stiffen up and the swing just gets really tight and really short. So you'll be able to see in the swings that I do in the video that hopefully I'm doing the new technique. I'm getting that racket under the ball and my racket's coming through for a full follow through where my arms are staying loose. You've got to really focus on it because when you get into matches and if you compete and play tournaments and USTA matches, you will tighten up. It's just natural to do. So try focusing on keeping the grip pressure light. Make sure you have that trigger finger up, and also try to breathe and stay relaxed. Breathing before the point starts, keeping a good rhythm, and breathing out on your shots will help you stay loose. So that's your tip. Keep working on that. That's been helping me a lot. I know it will help you, and I know in matches people get tight, so you want to stay relaxed and you want to figure out how to get that racket whipping really smoothly and fast through the ball. All right, if you do like this video, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next week.